Before we jump in, I would just like to signal that I am a little bit hungover, but I'll try my best to give you everything I have. I also will say we need to do a short discussion about what Gen Z are wearing at the club.
Okay. Oh, really? You were at the club?
I was at the club last night.
We didn't end up going.
With Felicity Ward, who is in her early 40s, and she looked around and she's like, why is everybody dressed like I was dressed at the club? Because Y2K is in full swing.
Yeah.
And the shit they're wearing, I'm sorry, is fucking ugly. They look gross. They're not wearing it right. The proportions of it are all off. Big pants and a bra. What's going on?
I did notice a lot of, there's a lot of midriff. I feel a lot of pain and sorrow for young people that are back in the midriff zone.
Yeah.
But also, though I think the trend through all generations seems to be, girls, women wear, that thing changes, and the men are constantly whatever they like, minimal effort.
This is true. Also, okay, I witnessed two things that I would like to discuss from an anthropological documentarian standpoint that have, again, nothing to do with this podcast.
I've got one thing to say on the fashion.
Please.
But just a real quick question.
Please.
Were there any gladiator bouts? Are they coming back?
What is that?
Don't you remember?
What
It was like a low slung kind of like, if you get low-rise pants and then you have the low
Oh,
slung.
that doesn't act like a belt at all. It's almost like jewelry for...
it's like a...
Yeah.
Sometimes you wear it with like a long denim skirt.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking
Are
about.
they back?
I didn't see any, but I will be on the lookout.
That's next.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Anyway, sorry.
It's the belt that has no belt function.
Yeah.
So the two things that I saw, first of all, it was a gay night, a queer night, and all the camp-looking men were getting off with women, and all the skater boys were kissing each other, and I thought that was beautiful.
That's so nice.
Just goes to show that none of it all has to make sense.
In Auckland, all the queer nights are overrun by straight people. They've queer people have stopped going to the gay bars because
all the bachelorette parties started showing up. Yeah. I am the problem. No, I hear you. It's like, in Germany in Stasi times, they had more moles in the Catholic Church than churchgoers because they were all just reporting on each other.
Huh.
Or I don't know, maybe this is an urban legend. And the final thing I saw at the gay bar, 3 thruples leaving. And and it was just, they were all holding hands, the 3 of them. And I was like, I guess it's time to go home.
And that's why you've brought us here today. Another ploy.
I've locked the door and I've asked, what will it take?
I've got it on camera in case you finally commit and say yes.
Oh, God. Simon's got some legal contracts for you to sign. All right. Please welcome to Family Jewels, the podcast that's usually hosted by Charlie Dinkin and Olga Koch, but now only by Olga Koch because Charlie Dinkin is in the UK and not because we've had a falling out.
R.I.P.
Okay.
Just to be completely clear. With guests, multi-hyphenates, singers, comedians, actors, writers, performers, lovers. It's too hard.
Thank you. In that order. Always. Singer first.
That's what we pride ourselves on.
Yeah. As long as the singing's good, if it's funny, it's nice. And then if we're still together at the end, that's just the final little cherry on top.
I hope people can pick up the notes.
Are we both guests, or is one filling in as co-host?
Well, I've basically opted to have 2 guests on the remote episodes, so it has the banter vibe to it.
All right.
Because otherwise, it's like 2 60 minutes.
But just if you need one of us to kind of do some admin.
Yeah. Do you have any sponsors you want me to shout out? Curol's New Zealand.
That's so gross. You got a lot of wet
I can
lozenge.
pop it in and out. Almost our technician, she was like, hey, I'm just wondering, do you put a lozenge in your mouth before the show starts every night and then don't finish it and spit it out and just put it somewhere? And I'm like, yeah.
Next question.
That's a rite of passage from doing a show with us.
What I'm hearing is you need a Chupa Chups model of that lozenge on a stick.
Yes.
And
then like a little stand for it.
Yeah. That's what or a little case.
You said Chupa Chups?
Chupa chups.
Oh yeah, that's
In Russian, we say chupa chups.
chupa chup. It's so great learning about the world.
Do you guys have that here?
What?
Back home, yeah, chubba chups.
Yeah, choppa
You have
chops.
chup chups?
Chubba
chubba
chubba chups, please.
Chubba chup.
Choppa chops.
Chubba chups.
That doesn't sound right.
Yes, it is.
Chupa chup sounds too
know-
exotic for what it is.
We'd have like school raffles, and they used to bring out those ones that was like a massive one, like like it was so
Yeah,
big.
yeah.
And you'd have to like lick it and then wrap it back up and put it in the fridge. I actually never got one. I never won the raffle.
Well, you'd never be able to get through it. It's a novelty.
I
It's a
would.
novelty. It's a novelty.
Is it you, Laura, who has a big gripe about the ones at the airport that are just a
They
plastic?
look like a big one, but they're actually just a cup holding smaller ones.
Yeah, like
so I was like, they finally got the big ones back.
It's like a globe, you know,
big
a
France.
plastic globe, but with inside is
A pinata,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah. Normal,
What it is a lie.
normal,
Yeah.
normal chupa chups.
It's a lie.
Well, that's how I feel every single time I see like a Ferrero Rocher Easter egg, and you're like, oh, big
Oh.
Ferrero Rocher. And no, it's hollow. It's a hollow ass fucking egg.
with like
I just
3
hate
Ferrero
that.
Rochers is a little gift.
And
that
the
comes with it.
potential
She
is
makes me
there.
physically sick.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. So you mentioned being young.
Ah, the conceit of the show.
I think that's the word on the street.
Okay, can you, as you are currently a family unit,
Yes.
you're each other's family.
We're each other's family, and we have,
Dual income, no kids.
we have a son,
That's so hot.
Martin.
Yeah, oh, and a cat.
Yes.
And you can. I would say Joel is also part of it.
Yeah, and a flatmate.
He's in.
So triple income.
Kind of.
Triple income, one cat.
Yeah, a new family. You leaving as a throuple. You leaving the gay night as a throuple. That's
Yeah.
it. Those
We
are-
have left a gay bar together. Anyway.
There you go. So basically, this is a show about families, but we talk about only the things that you want to talk about, and only the stuff that's I want to say weird or interesting. So I don't care about any of the boring stuff, unlike other podcasts. I don't care about the boring stuff. So if you guys could just tell me about your family backgrounds in terms of like how far back do you know about your family, and what's like the family lore, what's the family history?
Well, this is interesting because Joseph's dad's gotten real into ancestry.
Yes.
And the good thing is that now that because we're a unit, our families are combined. So I guess his
Shared
family,
bloodline.
my family, but my auntie's also really into ancestry as well. So she's been like building our family tree on our side. Your dad's been building like he would at Christmas. I just like see him. He'd like to relax. He'd just go get his spreadsheet out and just do a little bit more work on it.
So it's in spreadsheet form. We're talking spreadsheet.
Oh, we're talking
Excel.
spreadsheets.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. Yeah.
he's gone back like many generations. He's at the point where he is using Google Translate, emailing town halls in various small Czech towns to get birth records from the 1700s from their vaults.
Oh my
So he
God.
can add names to the list. And I really should have called him before
Before the
coming on.
podcast. I was just thinking that as well. And would you believe, I don't know anything that my auntie's done either. But I know it's there. Some people in our family has been doing the hard work. But yeah, that
Yeah,
would
I
have been.
should be having your aunt and your dad on this.
Yeah, absolutely. We can like backfill some information later.
My dad loves it so much. We used to do a thing in our family Christmas where we would give kind of gag gifts, and I would always screen print design and screen print a t-shirt very specific to their interests. Like I gave my mom like a E.M. Forster, the novelist, a big t-shirt of him.
That's really fun.
with his name like in flames.
That's really,
because she
really
loves
fun.
A Passage to India. So for my dad, I logged into his Ancestry account and did it as a big thing. But I thought it was a funny thing to wear your big family. I thought it was a gag.
Yeah.
And then he saw the t-shirt. He was like, "This is a beautiful and incredible day."
Oh my God, that's so sweet. That's so nice.
Yeah. So big fan.
And at
big
night,
fan of-
he's like by hand extending it on the t-shirt.
Yeah, but where do we start?
So
we
what
can
I'm
tell
hearing
we
is-
can tell you our ethnic background. Is that what you want to know?
Yeah, is that what you want to know?
Well,
Where are you
first-
really from? Is that what you're thinking, Olga?
So you've locked the door. I'll tell you.
Let's not dwell on the fact that I'm ethnically German. Continue.
Well, I am half. Well, in New Zealand we call it Pakeha.
Yeah.
Yep, that's just white essentially. So I've got European side and Irish.
Yeah.
And then the other half of me is Cook Island Māori, so I'm Rarotongan. So I'm a half white girl. and Joseph is 3 different types of white.
Yeah, what is it? New Zealand, European, Scottish, and German, or as Laura says, the 3 worst types.
Yeah, that's not fun Europe. Fun Europe is olive oil Europe, like bottom Europe.
It's potatoes Europe.
Yeah. I do love potatoes though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's why you love me.
And so when did your family make it over to New Zealand? Do you know?
Well, I'm this 1/4, so it's my dad's mother's German, and she came right after World War II.
oh yes.
Okay.
And New Zealand's a very young country, so we don't
Yeah.
have like all this like we don't have years and years and years to go back to.
Yeah,
But we do have years, but not thousands.
She it's quite a nice little story with her. She was living in this was Datenland as a ethnic German, and when the Czechs took it back over after World War II, they were like, "Hey Germans, get out of here!" And she was like, "Where? This is where I was born." And so she, but while she was still had a house in Czech Republic, some New Zealand prisoners of war came through the town and needed work, so she took some of them in and gave them work around the town to feed them. And then when there was news reached New Zealand that all these ethnic Germans were seeking refugee status, one soldier in Christchurch, New Zealand, put out a call and said, "One of them is my fiance. Bring her out here." Even though nothing happened, he said, "One of them is my fiance." And she gets on a boat.
Wait, what? I already have goosebumps. I love this shit. Oh my God, I love this shit so much. Wait, so all she did was like give him some work around the town to feed him, and he's like, "Oh, we're married now."
Yeah. Well, I think he was like, "This is an opportunity to
Get her out.
you know, like
And have her owe him.
Anyway, but you know,
The nice guy mentality.
this guy is doing a beautiful thing, right? He's heard the news that people need refugee status. They can't come willy-nilly, but he says, "No, I'm going to marry this person. This will get her in." She shows up, she gets refugee status. She meets this lovely guy, decides she doesn't like him, and marries his friend Percy.
Yes. Oh my God.
Percy was also a prisoner of war who was also there. They had met
But
earlier.
Percy's not making the calls.
No, he
Percy's
didn't make
not
the
saying
call.
she's my fiance.
No, Percy.
He's not putting in the fucking
Percy
work.
just came and cut the lunch of this other guy.
Did he say friends, Percy and
It's
the
like
guy?
Pearl
I don't know what
Harbor,
happened to the other guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But you know that there's like a whole trend in the UK. I mean, it's not a trend. It's like a type of Daily Mail article, which is like, look at this man who left his wife to take in a Ukrainian refugee. And it's just a model that he's like mailed himself.
What a noble legend.
Yeah.
Is this the same grandmother that did she ate a horse or something?
She did eat a horse in a grim way. It was always there was a kind of story that she always had harrowing stories about being kicked out of her home and living. I think they were homeless for quite a while in Germany or in.
So this is the 1940s.
Yeah, post-war.
Post-war. She arrives in
The
New Zealand.
rare German victim post World War II. So not an easy thing to go on about.
Very easy to take out of context and clip up. Though.
I went to the museum in Berlin, and there was a section on German refugees, Germans who lived in other countries during after the World War, who were kicked out for being German, and I was like,
Finally, representation.
This is what I've been trying to tell people about, without sounding like a psycho. So I think they roughed it out real big, and then. It was always a big thing in our family.
But also, it wouldn't be glamorous for a country to like advertise, "We'll take in the Germans," right?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to be that country.
No, but New Zealand, we're cucks, you know.
Everyone, come in, jump in that melting pot, baby.
But growing up, we were always encouraged. We couldn't waste food in front of her because her big story was on Christmas Day. One year, a horse froze to death, so they ate the horse for Christmas.
Oh no!
And then there's my sister who's like, crusts. Like,
there's Laura leaving lozenges left.
yeah.
And right.
Often, like, my Oma would leave to go get something from the kitchen on Christmas. I just got these memories of my mother, like, going to her plate, going and eating my sister's stuff, who wouldn't touch her food,
Oh,
just
yeah.
so there was no kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
Just to like not offend anyone.
Yeah.
I was a very fussy eater when I was younger as well. I eat everything now. Well, actually, no, I'm vegetarian, but you know, within
With a
reason.
shrimp allergy.
With a shrimp allergy. But I remember, like, you weren't allowed to leave the table sometimes if you hadn't finished your food. So, like, just taking mouthfuls and being like, and then, like, walking to the bathroom and just, like, putting it in toilet paper and, like, getting rid of it.
Oh, my God.
Which now I've realized is maybe an eating disorder.
You're telling the story with a smile on your face, but it's a pretty harrowing. Damn.
Once I
But
remember.
this is because yuck, right?
Yeah, because yuck.
No, not because skinny.
Not because skinny.
Yeah.
That was later.
Yeah.
This is too young to. This is like
Too young. This is like
too young to be body conscious.
5. Yeah, absolutely.
just-
It was just like, I just cannot. Once my uncle and my mum sat opposite me at the table, and they were like, you're not leaving this table until you finish this silver beet. So you know silver beet?
What the fuck is silver beet?
You know, silver beet.
Don't
What's
have-
silver
You got chupa chups, but you don't have.
You don't have silver beet?
Is silver beet like
silver
beetroot?
boot? Is that?
Is it like beetroot?
No.
It's like spinach.
Yeah, it's like spinach, but it's like way stronger.
Okay.
And
Yeah, pungent spinach.
dense.
No, should be.
Oh, and you
A
boil
kid
it.
doesn't want that.
You boil it, and it's like it's long. It's like it's in between of spinach and kale, but like not like. Nice
Are you
and
familiar with early '90s New Zealand cuisine?
It was just It was just anything from Britain.
Yeah.
Overcooked.
Asian food came out in New Zealand around 98, 99.
Yeah.
And,
Really?
well, no. But, like, that's when, like, I was probably about 11, 12 when, like, my family started going, oh, we should have other cuisines from around the world at home. It was, and then it was...
Our first experience into other cuisines for most New Zealanders is butter chicken. You're
Yeah,
like,
Pat X.
What?
A company called Pat X that does, like, make-at-home curries. And, yeah, when we were around 12, like, those got introduced into the diet. We were like, whoa, other people are eating so good.
And now I will say New Zealand's like amazing for food. Like,
Yeah,
we've got
and
some
then,
of
like,
the nicest
the
restaurants,
climate-
best chefs.
And the produce is crazy, like high quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone got their shit together, but there was a period there when we were growing up. It
Yeah,
was
it's just-
horrific.
Silver beet.
Yeah, sausages or pork chops with boiled vegetables was all anyone had. Boiled
Yeah.
carrots, boiled broccoli, boiled
God.
Well,
silver beet.
I had a standoff with my uncle and my mum, and they stood there and they're like, "You're not leaving until you finish this." And I was like, "Okay," I put it. I was like, "I feel sick," and just projectile vomited onto them.
Oh my God.
And I was like, "I told you I didn't feel well." And afterwards, they were like, "You did that on purpose."
Imagine being able
not
to
done right.
projectile vomit on command.
Huh?
You could get out of so many things. If, like, you did that on purpose. Like, if you could just at any point projectile vomit, you could get out of so many things.
Bad date? Don't even need to pretend to go to the bathroom. Look, I'm not really feeling this.
Yeah.
Well, I've got two things to say to
Yeah.
the things that you've just said.
Okay.
Sorry, vis-a-vis circling back.
Vis-a-vis.
First of all, speaking of German refugees, my family's ethnically German, but they lived from the 1800s. They've lived in Russia, right? But after World War II, they got sent to a labor camp because they just had German names. But speaking of food, in the Soviet Union, one of the motivations that kids would get to finish their food, because obviously my parents grew up there, is the mythology was that Vladimir Lenin was part of the Clean Plate Society, and so my mom as a little girl, and then to me as well when I was growing up, they'd be like, they won't let you into the Clean Plate Society. Do you not want to be a member of the Clean Plate Society?
What's the Clean Plate Society?
It's this mythological thing that Vladimir Lenin was part of.
Oh,
where
like
if you finish your food, you're part of the Clean
the Skull
Plate
and Bones
Society.
Club.
That's
But
crazy.
only if you finish your food. So if you didn't finish your silver beet, they wouldn't let you into Clean Plate Society. How embarrassing is that? They're all just chilling there with Lenin.
Oh my God.
How?
Do you get like a badge or something?
But it's like everything was
That's such a Soviet. Like when I was
an
a kid,
admin-based way to excite a child.
to create a fictional society that you want to be. Like when I was a kid, I didn't want to
Oh,
eat.
it's a fictional
Yeah,
society. I'm with you.
But what kid is like? Oh,
Do you get a badge? It's not real, Laura. It's a way to get a kid to finish
Look,
his
someone's
food.
not firing on all cylinders today, okay?
you know when you're a kid and all you want to do is join a society where you have no context of what happens there or what you get.
But it's FOMO, right?
Yeah.
It's like all the other kids are in it.
When I was a kid, and wouldn't eat food. My mum made this thing, Power Ranger soup.
Oh yeah, this is good. This
Which
is
I
good.
love this already.
Yeah.
Power Ranger soup it was a vegetable soup, but supposedly it gave you the strength of a Power Ranger, and all the Power Rangers eat it. they all love it. Even though famously on the show they're often seen at like a high school cafeteria eating tater tots, etc.
Interesting.
I had never seen the soup, but it's called Power Ranger soup. The name can't lie, so I would eat Power Ranger soup pretty keenly. And then that's when I was about kind of 5-6 years old. And then my sister was 3 years younger than me. When she was about the same age, a new soup debuted.
Oh, stop.
A new soup debuted on the kitchen table. Powerpuff Girl soup.
No.
Which tasted remarkably similar to Power Ranger soup. And that's when I was onto my deceptive mother.
You wanted your room connecting everything with
And
red
I don't
string?
think she even paid for the rights for the name. This is bootleg
Outrageous,
soup.
eh?
Yeah.
There's another dish that I discovered last time we were down visiting his parents. They were called Uncle Daddy's or Uncle McDaddy's.
We can't talk about Uncle Daddy's.
Well, I'm
Yep.
going to talk about Uncle
What is
Daddy's.
Uncle Daddy?
They brought out these potatoes, and Joseph's sister was like, "Uncle Daddy's." And I was like, "Hello, that sounds sexy, but what's going on?"
I think it was a name what me or my sister came up with as a child as, you know, like our restaurant will typically be called Uncle somethings.
Yeah.
Or the brand, like do you have Uncle Toby's and stuff?
Yeah, Uncle Ben's rice and things
Yeah.
like Uncle. You know, Uncle is a classic.
Yeah, Aunt Jemima,
homely kind of prefix to a brand name. But these potatoes were made by our daddy.
That's really clever.
So the
was a
brand
way
name came up with was Uncle Daddy's, which also does sound like
A gay blar. A gay blar.
either that, or that our dad is our mother's brother.
Which is why he's so into ancestry, just to make sure that he's...
He's like, it's so easy.
Clear out the lines.
We don't have to do the little line.
Well, actually, it's funny because I don't know if you know much about Rarotonga, but a very small island, Cook
Can't
Islands.
say I have.
Teeny, tiny. You've been to? You can get around the whole island in 45 minutes. It's like a holiday destination.
Where is it?
It's in the Pacific.
All right.
It's up from New Zealand. It's just kind of, if you go in on the map, there's just blue, and at last minute you'll see it.
Is it part of New Zealand?
No.
Oh, no, sorry. It's just a different country.
It's a different country. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in Polynesia. It's
Oh, God,
Polynesia.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm Polynesian.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that's where
Are you
you're from.
familiar? Are you familiar with Moana?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that-
around
that
there.
kind of
It's around
stuff.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's around there.
Have you been?
Yes, I have a couple of times, and they've got an interesting way of doing things in Rarotonga. You don't buy land, you inherit it.
Yeah.
So you can't. It has to be passed down. So if someone in your family passes away, you have to inherit the land from them, and you have 5 years to make your claim on the land that gets passed down through the families, and if you within those 5 years, you have to put a permanent structure on the land, a permanent foundation. So when you go to Rarotonga, you'll see all these unfinished houses just around the island, and it'll just be like foundations of houses because it's just people like kind of claiming the land.
No,
and they haven't
they're
filled,
living in the old house or whatever.
yeah, they haven't finished
Well, like,
the
I think-
structure.
I'm not sure of this, but I think there would probably be more Cook Island people living in New Zealand
Yes.
than there. Like, there's a big
100%.
diaspora. Like,
Okay.
So people from the Cook Islands come to New Zealand. So you can, whilst it's not, it's its own country. Our government kind of does look after them a bit. Like you can use New Zealand currency in
I see.
Rarotonga. It's about a 5-hour flight, I think. Well, Joseph's never been. I don't know why I'm looking at him.
What's it
I
like
know.
there?
Beautiful. It's gorgeous.
What is the? I'm so sorry because I do have no cultural background. It's
Yeah.
like, what's the religion? What's the language? What's
I think pretty like
Day to day.
It's a
Colonized Christian.
colonizers came. It had its beautiful own culture. Then white people came.
yeah.
But actually, New Zealand Māori, like that's kind of where everyone kind of migrated from. So the myth, well, not the myth, but people came from Hawaii,
Yeah.
which you can assume is most likely kind of the Hawaii region, and so everyone sailed down and eventually migrated. So a lot of Cook Island Māori are like where like our New Zealand Māori come from. So they've made their way down that way as they've migrated down and eventually found Aotearoa. It's interesting facts there.
Can I tell you the
Yes.
funniest thing that's happened to me in Wellington? I went to the Wellington Museum, the main one,
Yeah.
and then I took a walking tour there with another American lady, and they were telling the story of how the Maori sort of landed in New Zealand. The American woman raised her hand and she went, "Could they have gone to Seattle instead?"
Yes.
Maybe.
Took a wrong turn.
But yeah, I guess that's
Needed to, like, America somehow inserted into that narrative because she couldn't otherwise understand or
Could they
fathom
have-
it.
They go anywhere they want.
yeah.
They were on a boat, I guess.
But yeah. No,
Okay,
but
so
that's-
how many generations back did they live on the islands in
Oh
New
my
Zealand?
goodness, I actually don't know. So this
Okay.
is the side. So I grew up with my mum's side of my family.
Yeah.
So in a small place called Palmerston North in New Zealand. There's a song about it.
What is it?
But well, I'll play it for you later.
Laura wrote it.
Yeah, we wrote it. There's a song about it. Who listens to this podcast? People in the UK? Yeah, sick. Well, there's a. If there's any of those deep dive Taskmaster fans that watch the New Zealand version, because I know they're out there,
Yeah, they are.
then I did a task on Palmerston North, and there was a thing where was it John Cleese?
John Cleese. Yeah.
John Cleese came to Palmerston North, like this was years ago. It happened.
Don't like Monty Python, John Cleese?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never
He
forget
called it the
the suicide capital of the country.
Is this true?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mick Jagger called it the asshole of the world.
Which is
The
like
fact that they know that it exists is huge. Is huge. What I'm hearing is name recognition.
But Palmerston North didn't take kindly to John Cleese calling it the suicide capital of the country,
Yeah.
and they've named their the rubbish dump in Palmerston North is now called the John Cleese.
Oh,
dump.
that's fun. That's
Yeah.
fine. He's also not a good man, so this is fine.
yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
But we had to do a task where it was like make your hometown proud, and I
You threatened to assassinate him on
Wait, did you actually?
on television.
Yeah, we're just like we staged it, but
That's so hot. That's really hot. So that's where you're. Yeah,
that's where I'm
you grew up.
from. So I grew up with my mum's side of the family, and I didn't meet my dad until later in life because I left when I was but a young child, and. Actually, it's a kind of crazy story how I reconnected with that side of my family.
Do you feel comfortable sharing it?
I'll share bits of it.
All right.
Are you familiar with a course called Landmark?
No, what's that?
Oh, you're going to deep dive on this afterwards.
Wait, a course?
Yeah, it's like a life course, like a professional development life course.
Oh my god, the way that like the things that get into Scientology or Nexium. Okay.
And I will say it was good. So one of my best friends from school, their family had all done it, and you get invited along to these evenings and you go to these seminars, and it's just like about creating possibilities and transforming your life. Okay. I did this as a 15-year-old.
No.
Yeah.
If
And
you
it really
Google
does-
landmark, like it always the autofill goes cult ? After
Genuine, and I can see why people would think it's a cult, because genuinely the way you like get people into it is pyramid scheming. It's like
What is it? What does it take shape?
So I did this like weekend forum where you go down and you listen to these like inspirational speaker like talk for 3 days, and then you go back and look at all the stuff and you realize that the reason you're screwed up is because of your parents.
Obviously.
Didn't your mum make you go?
No. To be honest, it's because my friend had done it, and then I said to my mum, I was like, "You should do it. We should all do it." Because I was just like, I want to do what my friends do.
And my friend will get 17 points.
No, but then my mum went in because I was young. If you want to do it when you're young, your parent has to do it first. So my mum went and did it, and she like got a lot out of it, and then I went and did it.
Okay.
And then the end result of that was they kind of like they try to encourage you to call people in your life and stuff and tell them about it. And so I called my dad out of nowhere, and I was like, "Hi. Do you want to meet up?" And like, yep. And then they flew down on a plane to Wellington like 2 days later, and I met him and my stepmom, and they had adopted 2 kids. So I gained a younger brother and sister.
Oh my!
And it was crazy from doing this really, but I will say I've never gone back to that life course again.
Just in case something else crazy happened.
And look, here's the other thing is I was aspiring, by the time we met, and then we like kind of loosely kept in touch over email. And then I was moving up to Auckland to go to drama school. And I really needed a place to live And I was like, hey, can I come live with you guys? Honestly, the cost of rent versus like all this like childhood trauma. I was like, you can do no wrong. Give me room, baby.
All is forgiven.
And then, then that's how I kind of got to know that side of the family. And yeah.
That is so unlikely. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then it gets a little bit messy from there, as families do. But
okay, so does this course still exist?
I don't know. I think so.
Do you still have an account? Because if Olga does it, you could.
One of the big brags.
She can transfer the points to me, so I don't have to.
Yeah.
One of the big brags is that, like, I remember graduates of the course made the film Pay It Forward. You know, do you remember Pay It Forward?
Wait, why does it sound so familiar?
You're familiar with the concept of paying it forward?
Yeah. Was it established in the movie?
That comes from a movie, yeah.
Yeah. And that comes from people
Kevin
that did Landmark.
Kevin Spacey, Helen Hunt, and Haley Joel Osment, I believe.
I kind of remember. It's like the movie Yes Man is vaguely based on something called The Yes Men,
like
or
a
something.
self-help book or something.
Yeah.
But so in the movie, Haley Joel Osment is a little boy living in a broken home who invents paying it forward, and his inspirational teacher, Kevin Spacey, sees who has prosthetic burns on his face, sees potential in it and starts trying to spread it. And then, spoiler alert, the most insane ending to a movie, Haley Joel Osment is killed by his school bully in a stabbing. But it's quite a light, fluffy movie. And like the school bully is like a classic, hey, I'm going to take your lunch money. And then he kills him in a stabbing at the end. But then...
the concept of paying it forward.
But paying it forward has spread so far that 1 million people come to his funeral.
But paying it forward is just doing a nice thing?
Yeah, but I guess that's kind of...
No, it's instead of paying someone back, do a nice thing for someone else.
Oh.
But in the movie,
So
everyone's explaining the paying it forward. They're like, well, a guy gave me a biscuit, so I'm going to...
And they're like, what do you want back? It's like, nothing, just pay it forward, so give it on to someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Oh, like what they do in the drive-thru sometimes.
Yeah. I think
The movie is mostly drive-thrus.
Hey, pay for the next guy's order.
That was the original script.
Yeah. But it's all about making transformations and changing people's lives.
The thing is, it's like you can't even laugh at Landmark because it fully did.
I mean,
it
it like, ultimately it worked. So it's just the sometimes you don't want to keep going back to courses. I'm like, we're good now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not really sure what's happened to it since, because it can get quite intense afterwards. Because I'm like, keep coming back. Keep telling other people.
And you're like, my life's transformed.
I'm different. No, there's still like that was because I did it so young as well. Like that was the main thing that happened. That I got out of that.
But it's like as big as it can get.
Yeah.
You started big. The thing
Started
is, you
big. Started big. Yeah, it was interesting.
Do you have other siblings apart from the other?
I do. So I grew up. And this is the other thing. If my mum ever found this on the internet, she'd be like, "You talked about your dad, and you didn't talk about me." But my mum's a legend, and she raised us, but single parent from Palmerston North, raised us on the benefit, 2 older brothers, and I was the youngest. And we, what was I going to say about her? She's great. We've got an interesting, outside of the family, I was very close with my grandparents because they would make us, my nana and my papa, they would make us Sunday roast and this is like the British side, like where we get
I hear you.
British culture. So we'd get a Sunday roast every Sunday to help my mum out with like meals and stuff. So that was the thing I looked forward to the most. And speaking about vomiting, I used to have an addiction to roast potatoes when I was younger. And I was like, I think, again, this is some bad eating chat I'm bringing to this podcast.
No.
My
We're
nana
all
would
from
make
Potato Europe.
No, my nana would make the best roast potatoes, and I think there was something in my mind that was like, you're never going to eat like this again for the rest of the week. And so I think I ate one day as a young child. I think I ate about, it was somewhere between 11 and 15 potatoes, like in one sitting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I ate so many that I threw up because I couldn't handle it. And my brothers just don't ever let me forget anything like that.
It's so good though, because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, Mom, you want me to finish this food? I've eaten 11 potatoes. Is this what you fucking wanted? Is this what you wanted?
11, and when I'm talking like full ones, like not like, you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I share with my I share middle names through the family. So on my Rarotongan side, I've got a Rarotongan middle name, which is Te'ina. It's very pretty. It means the white hair, means wisdom, grey. And then on my mum's side, my mum wanted us to have the same middle name, so we shared something together. And she gave me the middle name Canis. Have you ever heard that before?
I've heard of Caniston.
No, Janice with a C.
Janice with a C.
What is that?
Canis. It sounds so like it rings in your ears, like Canis.
It sounds like Caniston, the thrush medication.
The thrush medication, it does, doesn't it? And
Sorry, it saved a lot of women.
And we would be looking at that for a sponsor. I got this middle name.
Like Michael Sarah V.
Yeah.
You're the spokesperson for
Canistine. Wouldn't be mad. Very useful product.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've got the middle name Canis, which I was like, anytime anyone seen my full name written out, there was like, oh, I think they've missed a D. And I'm like, no, it's not Candace, it is Canis. And that name comes from my granddad, my papa. He was an orphan when he was younger, and he grew up in a kind of orphanage with the nuns. And there was a nun that looked after him and kept him safe. And her name was Canis. So that's how the name came down.
Really sweet.
Very cute.
That's really sweet.
I think it's maybe got an Irish link because I think there's a name called Canice, and that would make sense with my Irish side of my family. But it's Canis.
It's Canis. It's
Denise
Canis.
in a New Zealand accent.
Yeah, it really is.
Do we
really
need
hard
the
on
world
them.
to just turn to, I mean, it's getting there, like turn to complete shit again. So I'm just thinking about, like, generationally, everyone's got these kind of really great, like stories of kind of trials and, things people have been through. And now it's kind of like,
My name's Canis.
yeah, I'm just, people just playing Xbox and stuff. Like,
Isn't like you're conscious of creating something for your
yeah,
for your grandkids to talk
I mean,
about
actually,
on a podcast.
Laura's just literally talked about growing up with a single parent and stuff. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just having a moment stressing about my own privilege.
He has that often with me.
I'm so glad that I've created a platform to record that.
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
just
No,
happened.
I need to go through some more hardships. So when my kids are on a podcast,
What you're saying is you're finding it very hard to one up Laura now.
yeah. And that's what this is all about, right? Who've been through the most.
So you have two brothers that you grew up with. Mm-hmm. What are they like?
Oh,
What's
they're
their
great.
deal? What's their vibe?
You've met, I think you've met one of them.
Yes.
At the wedding. You came to my wedding.
If I'm being completely honest, I remember the wedding in patches.
There was a lot going on at that wedding. There was a lot going on, a lot going down, a lot going around.
Yeah, we've got the full video if you need to watch it again.
Yeah, I've got two older brothers, and classic kind of hated each other when we were younger, and then as soon as we kind of became old enough to like drink together, best friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I've got my oldest brother. Fun story about him that comes to mind.
Uh-oh.
Well, me and the middle brother, Mark, he lives now on the Gold Coast in Australia, and he has become like one of those. He was a musician as well, and so that's how I got into music, because I was like, oh, let's do what your older brothers do, kind of thing. We were all competitive swimmers growing up, but he now lives on the Gold Coast, and he's turned back into like, because he was a muso and audio engineer for ages, and then as he moved to the Gold Coast, he did that thing that happens to a lot of people that move to Australia, is they get really like tanned and ripped, and like crazy ripped. Like he's run across, what was the last mountain he ran across in Australia?
He's run across most mountains.
He's just always running. He's doing marathons like every weekend now. It's crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's also like really
He sounds hot.
okay, yeah, so this is the annoying thing. Anytime I post a picture of them, there's like a resurgence of hot brother comes back. Unfortunately, I do not think he's hot for a second, but lots of people think he's hot.
Yeah, no, he sounds really hot. So
Try being married to a woman with a hot brother. It's
hard. It's a hard life. And you know what the most disgusting thing is like seeing one of your siblings get that physically ripped and in peak absolute like perfect condition and being like, so it's not my genetics. So it is possible.
I hear that in a very big way. But it's like the entire time you were talking about him, it was like in a sort of almost negative cadence, and I was like, "When's it coming? When's the bad thing coming?" And it's
No,
like,
he's
you've just described an extremely hot person.
He's
but you're
extremely
just
hot.
mad.
It is like
You're just
so,
mad that he's hot.
so nice, very funny.
He's
just all
a
the
bit
things.
into crypto.
He is into crypto.
Yeah, so that's that's a
But he also does own a house and a second property.
So every Daniel
crypto
sibling,
works.
we finally got it. We are on a podcast. We are contractually obligated to say that. So every Daniel sibling eventually dips into. You did landmark. He did crypto.
Yeah.
What did
yeah,
the third guy do?
The guy does. So he's a
Beekeeper?
But yeah, he does beekeeping, photography, and
Craft beer.
It's
Big into craft beer.
Big into craft beer.
There we go.
We jump around.
The millennial crypto.
Yeah, she just reminded me something as well. Another fun fact about our last name is in Rarotonga, you
Yeah.
take on your dad's, you take on your parents' first name as your last name. So that's how we got
Oh.
Daniel. Crazy, eh?
So that's just your dad's first name.
Well, no.
Okay. Okay.
So he took my yes.
Your dad took his dad's first name.
No. Okay. So
Oh
what
my
happened?
God, it's even more complicated
It's
than
really
that.
confusing. So my granddad was he said no more. It ends with me. So he had his first name was Te Aoraki. His last name was Daniel. So he passed on his last name to my dad.
Okay.
But like the line was going, and then my granddad stopped it, and he was like, "No." When my dad remarried, he decided to start the tradition again. So then when I met my dad, we didn't have the same last name anymore. His last name was now Te Aoraki, and they like started it again. And I was like, okay, this is weird. So there's like three of us just with this last name, Daniel, that were like, where did this come from? And often because we are a duo, everyone like always replies to us, "Great work, Laura and Daniel," assuming that Joseph's
Yeah.
name is Daniel.
Yeah.
It's quite, but that's why I've got two first names.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
But it's like a patronym because my middle name is Alfred's. So like of Alfred.
Yeah.
So it's sort of patronymic to
Yes,
be like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
indicates who your dad is.
Yeah, yeah. But then now that I've like, because also with like island culture, like there's heaps, the families are big. So now I'm discovering, I'll see someone with Daniel pop up. I've got a very wide family. And I believe there's a family reunion happening in a couple of years on the island. So I'm going to go meet everyone.
We can do a Family Jewel special.
I know.
On the ground.
Pretty cool.
That's so interesting. And how does it work from like an administrative, I guess, angle? I don't know. I'm just thinking like, would it create complications in like bureaucracy and paperwork? That like the parents and children wouldn't have the same last name, right?
I mean, that's how
Yeah.
they do it in like Iceland.
Interesting. Okay.
Iceland do it. You get if your dad is
Oh, and like Iceland, you were told to marry off the island, I believe.
Do they have that app where it's like, are you my cousin or can we fuck?
yeah.
And actually, sorry, the first time we did go visit Rarotonga, this was when I was, I believe, 19. My brother was 23, 24, 25, whatever. Anyway, hot brother. He,
Absolutely roasting the other one.
well, no,
Beekeeper
actually,
brother be
no, the other
beekeeping.
brother's, you know, he's all good looking as well. But he, yeah. Well, we went out on the nightclubs in Rarotonga. This is the first time we've ever been, and my brother, he was like, went up, he saw like a pretty attractive looking woman outside the bar, and he was like, all right, wait there. And we had our scooters. I was like, oh my God. And we went up to go ask her for the time, and he asked her name and stuff. He's like, hey, you know, just like really subtle, but
Laying the
definitely
groundwork.
Laying the groundwork. Laying the
Yeah.
groundwork. The next day, we go to my granddad's house, and we're meeting people, and he goes, hey, Mark, you met your cousin Rachel?
That's
we met.
amazing.
Yeah, we met. So
That's my favorite story of all time.
me. I never hit on any
Luckily
cousins.
they didn't.
Yeah, so I'm just sad over here, wishing I could have hit on some of my cousins.
As a British citizen, I'm contractually obligated to say that cousins is legal. So
is it?
cousins is legal.
Wow.
The
okay.
queen, the
It's
queen.
not encouraged though, eh? But it's legal.
Well,
No, it's encouraged by the government.
Queen Elizabeth was married. Prince Philip was her cousin, second cousin. Prince Philip was her cousin.
Oh, I know that. I've seen
Yeah.
The Crown.
Cousins is legal.
Great.
Yeah.
Totally above board. Anyways, that is the message of Family Jewels every single time somehow. Do you have any siblings, Joseph?
I got a sister, Miriam. She's
Is she hot? Come on. Laura had to answer it.
Yeah.
yeah, look,
Just.
Great.
yeah. I divert to Laura for hotness on anyone because I find no one hot except Laura. No offense, Olga.
But you're trash in his eyes.
Younger sister Miriam, we were real tight growing up. Like, didn't have any sort of
Rivalry.
We were just bros. We had like lots of. I think Miriam just liked whatever. I think what you said about wanting to do what your brother does.
Yeah.
Like Miriam was just my little sidekick who came along. She was 3 years younger than me. It was just the two of us. She came along on all my adventures. Appeared in my short films when I was an aspiring short filmmaker at 12. And now she's a very vocal town planner, kind of urbanist. She loves posting on X, formerly Twitter, about cycle lanes.
Okay, so like a Leslie Knope-esque character.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
True, the greatest comp I could imagine. Just really loves refusing to get a ride with you if you're going to the same place as her from the same place if it's a short car ride, because she doesn't believe in short car rides.
So will she walk or
Yeah, she'll walk
or cycle? Okay.
or cycle. Yeah.
She's part of the council.
Yes, she's been elected to local board in
That's
Tawa.
huge.
Tawa, a small part of Wellington, New Zealand.
So her aspiration is like political.
Well, she says no. She says
But
no.
that's what all politicians
They all say no. They all say no. They all yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
she's gaslighting us. I don't know. As I hope she continues to do in office one day.
Yeah.
Are you close to the four of you? Are you a close family unit?
Yeah, pretty close. We've got a strong group chat. Laura's in.
I'm in the group chat.
You're in the group chat.
She's in.
You know,
Does
the nicest thing that happened when Joseph and I started dating, because you know the story. You know that we were friends.
You can tell it again.
No, I'm not going to tell it again.
All right, I can tell it.
you know it beat from beat.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were friends for a long time before we actually got together. And when Joseph told his mum that we were finally dating, she was like, I've been waiting for this to happen.
Yes.
Which is the
vouching
ultimate
for us.
acceptance you can have into a family.
Well, she was vouching for us before there was.
Oh, when I was dating someone else. She's
Yeah,
like,
like-
you know who would be good for you? That Laura.
and there was nothing between us. Laura was
Was it a
with one of my
4-year
friends.
relationship with someone else?
And I was like, Mom, stop it. What are you talking about?
Were
It's
you
really
already doing Two
inappropriate."
Hearts by then, though?
Like, no, like
We started it after that.
yeah, even before then. Yeah.
I'm not going to date her. I'm just going to go on a creative business venture with her that ties us together and makes us spend a lot of time together and maybe tour the world. Anyways, Mom, stop. There's
Yeah,
nothing
pretty much.
there. So she's in the group chat. Does Miriam have a partner?
Yep.
Are they in the group chat?
He is in the group chat. Yes. Charles. Welcome, Charles. Welcome to the chat.
Yeah.
Charles is a big dog, and they live. Miriam and him own a house with prison views.
And fun fact, the prison views that they have, one of my cousins was in that prison at one stage. And I love to remind her. I was like, I hear that prison's no good. But that's cool. I've actually like that. Not that my cousin will ever listen to this, but these are the two cousins I grew up with on my mum's side, and they're my uncle's daughters, and they are the same age as me, and they're like sisters growing up.
Yeah. I have a similar thing.
Yes. Did she go to prison? Absolutely.
Okay, what
has she
form?
done a lot of bad things? 100%.
Come on, give us
But
a
she's
taste.
reformed, baby, and she's doing great.
Yeah, she should have done Landmark.
But yeah. Well, actually, genuinely, I think my mum tried to get it into
Yeah.
No, but meth's a crazy drug.
Okay,
Yeah. Went down a wormhole, and
She's actually doing good now.
doing great now.
Doing good
actually.
now.
We just saw her at Christmas. Just a new person and becoming a social worker, which is really nice.
That's gorgeous.
really beautiful full circle moment, because
Yeah.
she said, when people, she's been through the system so many times, when people are trying to, like, the counselors and stuff, they're trying to talk to you and try to be like, don't do drugs, don't do this, She says it only works if it comes from someone that has been through it themselves.
Yeah.
So now she's doing that. And I'm like, pretty cool.
We bought
Pretty cool.
we bought Christmas presents for your cousins' kids Christmas, and one of my favorite shopping experiences of all time, I think.
Yes, because we don't have much experience with kids. There's not a lot. We're all kind of career people at the moment.
We're career driven. But I got so excited buying presents because your cousins' kids are like, what, 2, 5, 7, kind of like
Yeah.
classic child ages.
Yeah.
And
They don't know us from a bar of soap. We don't really have a relationship with them apart
Okay.
from we see them at Christmas.
Yeah.
And we're like,
So you had a
"Hi."
lot to prove with those gifts.
Yeah.
but here's where I got excited.
Putting yourselves on the
I don't know
map.
about when I was growing up. My parents would never get me for Christmas like super commercial stuff. Like it was like
Yeah, they'd be like Power Rangers soup.
soup. Yeah. Like I would love like the whole set of Power Rangers. Didn't have that shit, you know. But a lot of books.
Power Rangers
lot
soup.
Of books.
I thought you said Power Rangers soup.
That's so funny.
So-
A lot of books, a lot of art kits, a lot of kind of like a microscope. You know,
Yeah,
these are the kind
yeah,
of Christmas
I
presents
hear
I've been
ya.
getting, and I'm
Yeah.
like, give me a transformer,
Yeah,
please. But then my aunt, like uncles and aunts, would come through clutch with the with the gifts from the TV ads, and we got the chance to be those guys. We're like, we just walked in. We're like, what's the main like? Yeah, one Transformer, please.
Yes,
one
yes,
Mickey
yes.
Mouse. And one-
Care Bear.
Oh, yeah, we got a Care Bear. We're like, this is.
And
Oh
the
my
Mickey Mouse
God.
was made from, it was really soft and cuddly and was made from recycled plastic bottles.
Very
pretty
cool.
pretty cool of the Disney Corporation, huh?
I love throughout the episode, your aspirations of sponsorship get greater and greater and greater. You know what I love? Exxon. Let's go big. See who wants us to sponsor them.
Yeah.
So you're like
imagine
the ultimate cool entourage.
Yeah. Whatever you see on TV, we get it for you.
You're going to get them fake IDs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I bought my sister booze.
Very cool.
Yeah, thank you. I was so excited to be that guy because I was
course.
the oldest, and I never had that. You know, no one in my family could buy me booze, so I was thrilled to get her started at 16, and I gave her first weed.
Oh my God. That's huge.
Yeah,
Did you see her get high off of that first weed?
yeah.
Was it really
She
fun?
came to visit me in my flat in Auckland.
Do you have a tight knit family? Are you group chat people?
Yeah. Oh, we don't have a group chat going.
Christmas dinner, sort of.
Christmas, yeah,
reunion?
Christmas. So we do a fun trip where we've. Here's the thing: is that we've made the standard that we can actually achieve both family Christmases in one trip. You know how most couples would,
Choose, yeah.
One this year we're with you, next year with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Palmerston North is like a
Early on.
2-hour drive from Wellington.
So early on, we set the standard that we can actually make it to both. And now
But
as
you
the
can't
years
drink on one of them as well.
Yeah. And now the years have gone on. We're like, damn, I wish we hadn't have set that standard.
So what does it look like? What's the usual itinerary?
We will fly down to Joseph's parents in Wellington. New Zealand's
Wellington is
capital.
placed with a more robust airport.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we will have German Christmas the night on Christmas Eve, the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the family.
Which
And-
is eat the meal Christmas Eve.
24th.
Yeah, 24th. Light the incense that comes out of a smoking man's.
Yeah.
It's like a man looks like he's smoking. Though we did invite our flatmate Joel last year to family Christmas.
He can.
Who is a
Of course you did.
who is an air quality scientist. And he made us turn off the German incense because he was like,
took me
this isn't
so-
healthy inside.
I've
I
got
was
a-
like, you vape.
Yeah. And
Yeah, given what we know about Joel, that's
Yeah.
so funny that's his health concern.
Well, I've got a few like nice scented candles around the house, and I'd always like walk off, and then I'd come back into the room and be like, the candles. I couldn't understand. I was like, oh, these candles mustn't be very good. They keep going out, and then one day I walked back into the room and I realized Joel had just been like blowing them out. He's like, oh yeah, no, air quality, that's bad for that. I was like, I've just thought I'd been gaslit.
Damn.
It happened for a long time.
He was
That's
very
not that
useful
interesting.
during the global pandemic, though.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's how he became like a low-level celebrity in New Zealand, was the pandemic.
Why do we have to cut out the fact that you said low level?
No. He knows what he
Do you
is.
think he knows?
If you're a celebrity scientist, you're like Bill Nye, you're going to be a low-level celebrity.
Yeah, I wonder. Does Joel want to be like Neil deGrasse Tyson? Is that the goal?
No, he wants to be.
He likes Neil deGrasse
He
Tyson.
does. Well, who doesn't? He wants to be.
I interviewed him and he sent me some questions to ask him.
You asked? Oh my god.
Yeah, it was
What
on
that
the project.
like? What
And,
was that like?
Great.
What did you ask Neil deGrasse Tyson again?
We
What did
didn't
you
have
ask
a lot
Neil?
of time.
What did you ask Neil deGrasse Tyson again, Laura? When you interviewed
What
him?
did you ask Neil deGrasse Tyson?
I've kind of forgotten, but I remember it was really stupid. I said, so, space. It's pretty big, eh? And he really laughed. He was like, if we've taken anything away from today, we can make it. Space is big. And it actually sent him on a good riff. So that's,
Yeah. And the most important thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson is to get him riffing.
Yeah. Anyway, what were we saying? Oh, yeah.
Talk about Christmas.
Christmas. And then we drive. The next morning, we get up really early, quite hungover, drive up to Palmerston North 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Christmas tradition, we always stop at a Wild Bean Cafe.
In a British Petroleum station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have those in Britain, don't you?
British Petroleum?
No, the Wild
Wild
Bean.
Yes.
We had wild bean before you. I think we were a test market for wild bean.
I'll tell you more. They have wild bean in Russia, or at least they used to.
They got
I don't
wild
know.
bean in Russia?
Yeah.
I got to get over there.
Is it as good as the wild beans here?
Okay, just to not to ask for another sponsor, but I would say we are.
We would genuinely take wild bean sponsorship
We are
any
New
time
Zealand's
of the
biggest
day.
proponents of wild bean.
Okay, can you explain to me the selling point of wild bean? To me, it's just a coffee machine, no?
No.
Wild bean.
No,
Wild bean.
it's a cafe.
Wild
Coffee
bean.
of the people.
What's on the menu?
What isn't on the menu at Wild Bean? Wild Bean has a strong vegetarian selection, which is great for us.
Yeah.
Of pastries,
Cheese rolls.
pastry pies, cheese rolls, sandwiches.
The coffee's the coffee. The coffee is the coffee of the people because
So-
you're on your road trip. You need a coffee. It's actually it's like I think the main reaction from people is being like, oh, it's all good.
It's the greatest
It's
secret.
gas station coffee, y'all.
No, it's the greatest secret in
Nah.
New Zealand. Whoever runs the barista team at Wild Bean Global
Yeah.
has a really good training program. So you can be in any dog shit part of New Zealand and you can get really good coffee at a Wild Bean because they've standardized really good coffee.
Is it fancy drinks or is it just a really good flat white?
Like they've got a good
Just a good
roast.
flow.
They've got a good roast and their baristas know how to make it.
And you can so the coconut milk that was
They have a beautiful
the
coconut
thing for a long time was coconut milk flat whites. It's like it's sweet, it's not too heavy, it's just really nice. Once I was I filmed I was filming a show with Rose Matafeo,
Yeah.
name drop. But we were filming our show and the director was like, guys, it's been a long day. We need some coffees. Let's get some coffees. And we're like, yes, can we please get what we're both big fans of Wild Bean. We're like, please can we get some Wild Bean coffee? And she was like, oh, yuck, had that same attitude. Gas station coffee. Absolutely not. And then we had to wait like an hour and a half for the coffees to come because they were too good to go to Wild Bean that was just down the road. And I honestly, next day, we went and got a round of coffees, Wild Bean coffees for people in the cast as well. And everyone's like, this is pretty good. I was like, yeah, it is pretty good.
That's unbelievable.
You'll never hear anyone say it's great, but it's pretty good.
If you're in if you're in a good area where there's a Wild Bean and somewhere else, go somewhere else. Sure.
Yeah. But don't spend ages. Don't go out of your way because there's perfectly good coffee.
But I totally see when you guys play like the Greek in the LA, sorry. The Greek in LA, the Greek theater, or you play the I don't know, Red Rocks Coliseum, whatever they're called. Your rider is going to be like blue M&Ms and wild bean.
Wild
coffee.
Bean. No, we don't have the hair. We'll ship it over.
That's a you problem, buddy. So you stop at Wild Bean, you have a coconut flat white, then you head over to your family.
Yes. And then my family is my family is a bit. It's my extended family, but it's a smaller family as well. So I've got my mum, my auntie Jo, my uncle Jer, and my auntie Morty, short for Maureen. And yeah, we have like a kind of like a late kind of Christmas lunch.
And all of them have kids too?
No. We're the main. Myself and my brothers are the main kids of the family, along with my two cousins who are my uncle's kids. So that's kind of our family unit there. But yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any cousins either. We're all there's a lot of pressure.
So like I said, I've
On
got
us to
heaps
have
of
children.
cousins that I don't really know.
Yeah.
And then I've got my
That you might accidentally marry or hit on on a night out.
I did. Okay, actually, drama school.
This
There
is
was
the
one
one.
other guy that was Cook Island Māori in my class, and I remember with in first year drama school, we'd just always pash everyone at the parties, but
Yeah.
just like in a circle type vibe. And I think we might have kissed at one stage, and then afterwards we were kind of like, I think we're related. Almost definitely we're related.
Yeah, he tasted familiar.
yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, kissing cousins. That's the episode.
Yeah.
You got it.
This has been Family Jewels with 2 hearts. Produced by Simon McCulloch in the Stupid Old Studios in Melbourne. The theme tune was written by a man I used to date called Ronan Shields. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe.
I've met him.
He's nice.
He's great. He's a lovely guy.
Nice.